Yo, what's going on YouTube? All right, so we have a Jim Cornette video here. Haven't done a wrestling video in a minute. We're kind of waiting, kind of seeing how this heel turn goes with Cena, seeing how WrestleMania is like a month away. I'm super excited about WrestleMania. 2 nights, it's gonna be pretty sick. Huge shout out to all the supporters as always. I can't stand Dave Meltzer. I can't stand anyone who follows this idiot, this Mark, who's never worked behind the guardrail, has never been actually in the business. So his opinion on anything, it has no insight whatsoever. It's just from 40 years of watching wrestling, which I've watched wrestling for about 30. Does that mean that I can that my opinion should be above everybody else because I've been watching wrestling for 30 years? Anyway, huge shout out to the supporters as always. Let's get it.
Speaking of children, I understand that Uncle Dave has told his children, the sheep that follow in his flock, what they should have thought about the pay-per-view matches again.
Well, Jim, indeed, I have here the star ratings from the new Wrestling Observer newsletter covering AEW Revolution, which we just talked about previously on the last show.
Boy, howdy did we, at great length. And
there was way too much color, way too much blood in every match. Like, it's just so ridiculous. It's so overdone.
And I don't expect at this point.
AEW, to me, in my opinion, is like the Fast and Furious franchise, except 1,000 times worse. At least there's some storylines in there. There's some people that have charisma, somewhat, a little bit. I'm not talking about The Rock. But the over-the-top nonsense, the cars, and who goes over in races and stuff like that. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's AEW.
That Uncle Dave is ever going to see eye to eye with facts, logic, or visual what's in front of his face like we do. But is he in any way trying to indicate to these people, you've jumped the shark, shit the bed, and gone too far, and this was a mess, and can you rein it the fuck in? Or is he just saying everything was 5 stars, and the greatest thing that we've ever seen? Again, every time. Let me ask you this, Brian, before you tell me these numbers.
Yeah, please.
Okay, they rate numerically, they quantify, they grade the high dive in the Olympics. That's another impressive stunt, like the AEW wrestlers do. But you get I think 3 tries, right? And then they use your best one, or with a cumulative score or whatever. But you don't get to go up there and just jump off that thing all day.
Right.
Now, what would happen if they changed the grading to where you get 25 dives, and you just keep going up there and jumping off and going up there and jumping off, and 3 of them are really fucking beautiful, and another 4 or 5, that brings us up to 8. Well, those looked great. And then the next 6, they kind of looked the same, and then he started getting tired, he started getting sloppy, and there was 3 or 4 in there that just fucking sucked.
Right.
But overall, I give it 5 stars because the ones at the start looked good. Is this that logic? Is it just if you are allowed to do everything you can possibly do until the brink of exhaustion, then I'll grade it high just because you did a lot of shit? Or does it have to be that all the shit that you do is at a high level of professionalism?
Well, let me just say in advance of giving you the actual star ratings here, there was some audio that went around this week. One of the accounts, like Meltzer said, what? Or if it wasn't him, it was one of the other, Meltzer shits poo or whatever the fuck's going on out there.
Meltzer shits poo. I think they suspended that account.
But one of them had audio from, I guess, one of the shows they have over there, and it was all about, I guess, it was all the people that go to his house for pay-per-views, and it was about his reactions to stuff and how he loses his mind for the Will Ospreay stuff. They were all laughing about how Dave is over the top when Will Ospreay's in the ring.
So let's go. Oh, he's so garbage. Will Ospreay, I don't understand it. I don't understand how people like that guy. He can't speak. You can't give him a microphone. He can't cut a promo. Oh, but he can do flippity flops off the top of the cage and do flippity flops and hit people in the head for real. So
Some of the star ratings here.
So
in order,
dumb.
Hangman Adam Page defeated MJF. 4.5 stars.
Okay. I'm not surprised because I know what he does, and that would make it with some of.
I mean, it was a good match. I mean, of course, there's a couple of just absolute moves where MJF is actually getting hurt for real, which, I know that happens, but I mean, God.
The rank right up there with some of the premier matches of all time in the wrestling business, and I don't think it was, but at least nobody took an axe to anybody or.
Right, it was a pretty straightforward match, somewhat.
I don't think there was any power tools in that one. So
Right.
okay.
Right.
Well, Jim, the next match, Mercedes Monet versus Momo Watanabe, 4.25 stars.
Oh, come on.
See, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. 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 There is not a single women's match in history that is better than Flair and Steamboat. There isn't. Not a single one. Yeah, I said it. I said it. There isn't. Not a single women's match that has ever been, that ever will be, will ever beat Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, and you can pick any match. Not any of their title matches, any of their matches. Give me a break.
Brian, you're more tolerant than I am. And even you said it was a grim situation in some parts there. Is it just because, okay, well, now, but she's Japanese and she, must be good because she was trained by
Right, yes.
Margaret Cho or whatever that other girl's name is.
I believe you're speaking of Emi Sakura, but let's
Yeah, no, Freddie Mercury.
And by the way, I skipped past the pre-show. Let me just do that quickly. Hologram and Commander defeated Lee Johnson and Blake Christian, 9 minutes 53 seconds, 4 stars.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, what
4
is he
stars.
doing, dude?
It's a wonderful way to open the show.
How are you doing? Like, what? How do you
Kyle
do that?
O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole.
So that
So he's giving. I mean, oh, I'm not even. Oh,
opening of the pre-show with two people we've never heard of against two miscellaneous masked children was the equivalent of a Flair and Steamboat match. I got you.
Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, and Daniel Garcia defeated
See?
Shane Taylor. Lee.
It's not just me. I'm not the one who's crazy here. And if you don't think Steamboat and Flair was any good, go watch it. Go and listen to the crowd.
Moriarty and the
Yeah,
Infantry, 9 minutes 36 seconds, 3 stars.
Dude.
Oh, I must have sucked balls.
Oh, let me read this because this is what I missed and I was trying to figure out exactly what happened. Chris Jericho was to face Gravity for the ROH title. Jericho hit him in the head with a bat and was beating on him.
Oh, that match is, dude, the match is so bad. And then he pulls his mask off his face, and oh, it was so horrible. Horrible.
Bandito tried to make the save for his brother. Oh, they're brothers? I didn't know that.
I mean, this is worse than the late 90s WCW.
Gravity and Bandito are brothers. But Big Bill and Brian Keith were beating on him. Jericho beat on Bandito with his bat. Bandito's mother and sister were shown in the crowd in tears. They did a great job of pulling that off. Jericho unmasked Gravity. The unmasking got far more heat than anything, even more than threatening the women.
We also managed to take a goddamn stick to a couple of children to see what they thought about that too, but they went with the unmasking.
Jericho continued to work them over and hit the Judas effect on Gravity. The mother and sister ended up in the ring. Jericho threatened them, and Bandito tried to protect them and got kicked in the face. The next match, Big Boom AJ and Mark Briscoe and Pockets versus the MXM Collection.
Oh, so
who are called now Mason Madden and Mansoor. That was his name over there.
Who?
And Johnny TV, 12 minutes, 54 seconds. 2 stars. 2 stars for this match.
Good Lord, what did they do? Have explosive projectile diarrhea in the middle of the ring?
And by the way, for MJF versus Adam Page, here's what Dave wrote. Page cut his hair and looks like 1969 Les Thatcher. But Jim, the next match on the show, Swerve Strickland defeated Ricochet, 18 minutes, 9 seconds, 4 3/4 stars.
Okay.
So bad.
Okay.
So bad.
He's being very appreciative of people's feelings here again this week.
Kazuchika Okada beat Brody King in 11 minutes, 44 seconds.
All right, here's the fucking test. Can he open his eyes to what he is looking at and say something to the effect of, it's so sad what Okada has become and how that he just is either...
Yeah, that dude, Okada, if you go back, 10 years ago, he was the biggest star in Japan. The biggest. He was a rock star. Rock star. Like, when wrestling had become super stale then, I had a buddy tell me, hey, dude, YouTube this New Japan, this Tokyo Dome, Okada versus this dude, Kenny Omega. I was like, all right. And it was a good match. It's like, oh, it was so refreshing. Because WWE then was stale. John Cena and stale.
They're incapable of it anymore or doesn't give a shit.
So to think that same Okada is now a mid-card, mid-champion, one of the 35 titles that AEW has, that he's a part of that is really a shame.
Is milking the guy for money, being lazy. What does he say here?
3 3/4 stars.
You know, I hate to say it, but that's almost the same thing, isn't it? When he only 3 3/4. That would only have been approaching excellence in a prior generation. Did he have any comment about, Okada's lack of life?
No. King chopped the hell out of Okada. He ended up with his chest all bruised and his biceps all bruised. King missed a charge, went to a barricade. Okada used the DDT. King did more hard chops and elbows. King did a top rope superplex and an elbow suicida. Okada's chest was brutalized by this point. King did a running crossbody on Okada on the barricade. Okada did the elbow off the top. It just keeps running through actually what happened.
It reads much better than it was, doesn't it?
Well, let's go to the next match. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley defeated the Outrunners. 8 minutes, 37 seconds. 1.5 stars.
Okay, I got to be honest with you that nobody was either arrested mid-match or carried out in an ambulance on this scale should get 2 stars at least.
Arrested mid-match?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be something really disruptive and totally unacceptable on this scale to, again, that, nobody's fucking sphincter fell out and prolapsed in the middle of the fucking match. So I don't think it was that bad. I mean, at least they were able to, the right team won. They didn't fuck up the finish and accidentally lose. So there you go.
Well, here's what Dave wrote. It's actually interesting. This was a bad mix for a lot of reasons. First, the Hurt Syndicate are total baby faces to this crowd, so the dynamic of the Outrunners being underdogs you wanted to see win doesn't work. Or didn't work, he wrote here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate, when you see them, do you think they're baby faces?
No.
Well, that's simplifying it for the sake of the statement. They are not baby faces. They are heels, but the people love them because they are a level above in appearance and professionalism and performance what they're seeing on the rest of the card.
Yeah.
They're either tired of all of the stupid things they have seen a lot of these other guys do that have been there for a while, and there's nobody new that particularly, except Ospreay is newish. They don't give a fuck about Okada, I don't think, anymore. The people that are there will cheer for him if they happen to be there and he's there, but he ain't bringing anybody in.
Right.
The Hurt Syndicate haven't done anything stupid. They haven't been silly. They haven't been phony. They're good at what they do.
They're not getting color every match.
Beat people up. MVP is a good talker.
Yeah, he is.
So the reason why that they're baby faces in response from the crowd, even if not indeed in the ring, is 2 reasons. Number one, this is not only a smart crowd, but it's a smart ass crowd. And they like to show how smart they are, and they're cheering for the people that are the biggest stars on the program. And secondly, there's no baby faces that have anybody behind them to the level that you would want people to be behind your top baby face, so that they can you think of maybe if the Hurt Syndicate beat up Kenny, half the people would probably still like him. Maybe if they beat up Ospreay, 40% of the people might still like him, whatever. The baby faces are not baby faces because they're either phony, goofy, ineffectual, or they've been around too long and they're stale.
Let's go to the next match, Jim. Tony Storm defeated Mariah May. Hollywood ending match. 12 minutes, 56 seconds. Falls count anywhere.
Terrible.
5-star match.
Yeah. Get out of here. Yeah. Again, like I said earlier, there's no match in women's history of women wrestling. Is there any match better than Flair Steamboat? Flair Steamboat. We'll just put it right there. All right? Right there. And I got into some argument with some idiot on Twitter that is on JD from New York show, and this idiot said Tony Storm is the best performer, best talent, I don't know what he said, best talent, best performer in the entire industry. Not in the women's division, which would have been a lot more reasonable. And I just go, and I couldn't. I'm like, oh, okay. So she's better than Roman Reigns. And of course, he blocks me. I didn't say, hey, you're a dumbass for saying that. Oh, hey, you're a moron. I said, so she's better than Roman Reigns. I go, it's like, dude, she's not even Joe Hendry. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Like, are you kidding me? The industry, if you want to say she's the best female wrestler right now, okay. I think that's a fair opinion. But to say that she's better, that she's better than CM Punk, she's better than Cody, better than Seth Rollins, better than MJF, better than Roman, Seth Rollins, better than RKO, better than Kevin Owens, better than Jey Uso. Well, Jey Uso's shit. Better than Sami Zayn. I mean, who else? Better than Gunther? Are you? Oh, shut up.
And I'm sure he did the classic disclaimer about, well, I don't care for this type of thing, but it was wonderful.
No, it
I'm
wasn't.
not seeing that. I thought the same thing after the. Oh, here it is. I'm not a fan of this stuff with men or with women, but they had what is likely, if AEW presents its history right, with their all-time classic women's match. There have been a few better wrestled women's matches in the U.S., but this reached a level none of the others did, partially due to the storyline, and more due to the blood and violence and storyline.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
If he's not a fan of this type of thing,
then why is it a 5-star?
then did Rex Reed or Siskel and Ebert rate movies based not on what they thought of them, but what that they thought other movie-going fans thought of them?
I didn't like the movie, but enough of you told me I should put my thumbs up, so 2 thumbs up.
And it's, again, this is why that a lot of these young people, not only young people on both sides of the fucking camera, and in both sides of the seats and the ring, that buy into this indie style of wrestling that Dave has championed in this Japanese history that he's made up in large part.
It's clearly not a large portion, because look at the ratings.
About how great all the Japanese matches have been consistently for the past. He lies about that just like he lies about America, because he refuses to see through the fucking fake, phony bullshit that people have. He thinks it's progress if you don't learn to like the phony bullshit and the ridiculous, preposterous, unbelievable fucking stunts they do, and the lack of technique they exhibit in any of the art of wrestling while they're beating each other with blunt instruments. That's the problem is that some of these people think that that's what wrestling is supposed to be.
And also, it's been proven that if you just do that, you will not be successful. You will not be mainstream. You will be a niche. If ECW had a billionaire backing their company and Paul Heyman was he was the head writer, but he had a billion-dollar corporation or person that was funding everything, and it didn't matter how much, and generating money wasn't an issue, ECW would still be in business today. Because that's why they ran out of business. They ran out of money. Well, AEW doesn't. They have unlimited money. They have a billionaire backing them, so they don't have to draw. And so Tony Khan and this other Mark can have, these, they're smelling their own farts, and it doesn't matter if it draws money or not because he's a billionaire.
He says these things.
Stupid.
And some of these people are trying to wrestle like that because he says these things.
Well, Jim, the next match, Kenny Omega defeated Konosuke Takeshita, international title, 28 minutes, 29 seconds.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. If he gave girls 5 stars, he can't hurt Kenny's feelings because Kenny's his guy. So this has got to be 5 or 5.5.
5-star match.
Okay.
God.
Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher in a...
And look, Kenny Omega, again, great wrestler. Don't give him a microphone.
Well, now, wait a minute.
28 minutes.
Guy, so this has got to be 5 or 5.5.
5-star match.
Dumb.
Okay.
Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher in a cage
Well, now,
match.
wait a minute.
28 minutes, 56 seconds.
And by the way, they were almost both exactly the same time. Way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Willie and Kyle are out there in a cage match and he gave Kenny and the girls 5 stars, he's got to give them 5.5, doesn't he?
5-star match. So 3 5-star matches in a row, according to Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, oh my gosh, what an idiot.
Finally, Jon Moxley, the way it says it here, retained his title in a 3-way over Adam Copeland and Christian. I guess that is what it was at the end.
Technically at the end there. Okay, now wait a minute.
26 minutes, 31 seconds.
Let's just pump the brakes here. Because there has to be some honesty displayed here because too many people pointed out the suckiness.
That was oh my gosh, that was so bad. I mean, and you know what else is worse? Do you notice that you have not seen the AEW title for months? Like, what idiot is like, yeah, let's keep hiding the one title that people are chasing after. We don't want anyone to see what it looks like. Dude, it's almost like you can't see Cody anywhere without that title, dude. Like, why would you do that?
And the stinkiness of this.
So stupid.
So what does he have to say for himself here?
3.25 stars.
Oh, that's the same thing as a kick in the balls on this scale, I guess. That it used to be pretty damn good and right under the belly of excellent, but now it's like, oh, he's sending them a message. Remember when he used to give shit duds?
Yeah.
You remember the duds? There was a
negative
dud
stars and duds. That's right.
Negative stars on some things and duds for when he didn't want to be comedic about the negative stars. Now the shit that stinks only gets 2 or 2.5.
There was audio last week going around of him again, it was like 10 seconds. And it was just saying, I guess, in advance of this match, Jon Moxley never has a bad match. Adam Copeland never has a bad match. Mind. And then they had a bad match, and he gave it 3.25 stars. So that was AEW Revolution in the stars.
You know, Brian, what you've
I know.
What you've just said makes me want to take a razor to my throat.
Well, no, let's not say that. That.
Well, it does, because I'm feeling unkempt. I feel like Uncle Dave looks unkempt and confused, sitting on his front porch, giving all the young kids good ratings so they'll play at his yard so that he can stare at them and stare wistfully at his bygone youth. But meanwhile, I just want to shave and look neat. But boy, I tell you what, they balance this thing like the sight on a sniper rifle. So boy, you can get every last whisker, boom, and it's amazing.
All right, looks like the last part here was just the his advertisement for some razors. So if you made it this far, appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.